Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June the 2nd. Boy, do we have an episode. Cal Raleigh is incredible. The Rockies are not. Plenty of stuff going over. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? It is June. It is the third month of the baseball season, the third full month, the start of that month. And man, we've got plenty of great baseball happening and happened this past weekend. I've got sheets and sheets of things that I want to talk about and go over. So depending on how quickly I can talk, this might be a long episode. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll have our players of the month for the month of May. So a couple of bangers coming your way. Appreciate all the support in the recent videos. But with that all being said, let's get into our series recap. Leading things off, the A's are in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays for a 4-game series, and boy, was it homer-filled. Ernie Clement, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, George Springer, they all homer in a 12-0 blowout to open the series. Ernie goes deep again. Barger hits a home run in Game 2. Soderstrom and Langeliers for the A's. It's an 11-7 Jays victory. In that third game, it's Addison Barger again. It's Bo Bichette again. And how about George Springer, a 2-homer game? 4 Blue Jays homers. The A's had their own. Soderstrom goes deep again. Rooker went deep in the 9th. And how about Denzel Clark hitting his first career MLB home run? He was born in Toronto and he hit it in Toronto. Cool story for him. 8-7 Blue Jays victory there. And then down by 2, the Jays score 6 runs in the 8th inning to come back, and it's led by who else but Addison Barger again. 3 straight games with a home run for Barger. It's an 8-4 Jays victory, and they get the 4-game sweep over the A's. White Sox and the Oilers, it's a 3-game sweep for Baltimore. They absolutely needed it. Jackson Holliday hits a leadoff home run in Game 2. Jorge Mateo went deep in Game 2. And how about a bench clearing in that game as well? 2-1 Baltimore, 4-2 Baltimore, 3-2 Baltimore. They do just enough in all 3 games to get the 3-game sweep over the White Sox. Tigers and Royals, 2 up-and-coming fun teams, but one of them doing a lot better. The Tigers, Riley Green goes deep. Dylan Dingler goes deep. Spencer Torkelson, they all homer in part of a 7-5 Tigers victory. The Royals come back with a 1-0 win thanks to a Vinny Pasquantino RBI single in the 8th. But the Tigers counter that with a 1-0 victory on the road match. A wild pitch in the 3rd scored Zach McKinstry. That's the only run in that game. The Tigers take 2 of 3 from the Royals. Angels and Guardians now. Mike Trout activated and is healthy. That helps the Angels potentially with a 4-1 victory. Jorge Soler went deep in that game, but the Guardians come back in that second game. Moncada, Taylor Ward, Joe Adele, the 3 of them homering for LA, but it's the big 3 there in Cleveland. Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan, Carlos Santana, who go deep for the Guardians. They take a 7-5 victory to even up the series. Jose Ramirez would go deep again in the 3rd game, and that would help the Guardians to a 4-2 victory as they take 2 of 3 from the Halos. Twins and Mariners. This was a fun series for sure. Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena hit back-to-back homers in the game. Cal Raleigh, he had a 2-homer game. So did Willie Castro, hitting a 2-homer game for the Twins. That helped them tie the game up in the 9th inning, that second home run. They ended up in the 10th inning where the Twins scored 6 runs, including a Correa home run to help set the tone. It's a 12-6 Minnesota win. In Game 2, it's Cal Raleigh again going deep. JP Crawford joins him. And how about Cole Young making his Major League debut? He comes up clutch in the 11th with a fielder's choice in his MLB debut to walk it off. He had the same type of walk-off in AAA just a couple of days ago. First game in the big leagues, already a walk-off hero. 5-4 Mariners in the 11th that game. And they come back. It's Cal mother-frickin' Raleigh again going yard. Tied up at 1 in the 9th, it's Randy Arozarena with the walk-off RBI single. The Mariners get 2 walk-off wins in the series. They take 2 of 3 from Minnesota. Rays and Astros now. It's 5 runs in the 7th, 5 runs in the 8th as the Rays blow it open. Camareno, he had a home run and 6 RBIs in the game. 13-3, the Rays win it. Then it's Yanyer Diaz in Game 2, hitting a walk-off home run to help finish a complete game for Framber Valdez. It was tied at 1. He would have had to go out there for a 10th or have someone come in. Diaz says, "I got you, pitch," and hits the walk-off home run. 2-1 Astros in that game. Then it's another curb stopping by the Rays. It's Pena getting a 2-homer game for the Astros, but then it's the rest of the Rays that do the damage. Yandy Diaz going deep. Jake Mangum getting his first career MLB home run. Josh Lowe going deep. And how about Junior Camareno, the rookie, had the homer in Game 1, has 2 homers in Game 3 here. He was 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs, had a huge series against the Astros here. It's a 16-3 victory here. But the Astros come back. Taz Bradley and Hunter Brown go for a pitcher's duel. And it's a 1 run in the first inning thanks to Christian Walker. And that's all you get in this one. 1-0 Astros the final. So the Astros win 2 1-run games. And then the Rays win 2 games where they scored more than 10 runs than their opponent. It's a 2-2 series split between those two teams. Cardinals and Rangers. Now the Rangers take an 11-1 opener thanks to Wyatt Langford and Marcus Semien, who both go deep. Sonny Gray puts the shutdown on Texas, though, in Game 2. 7 innings, 10 strikeouts, helping the Cardinals get a 2-0 victory to even up the series. And then in the final game, it's the Rangers that blow it open with 5 runs in the 8th to put it away, capped off with a Josh Smith home run as Texas takes 2 of 3 from the Cardinals, winning that last game 8-1. Red Sox and Braves now. It's the Trevor Story series for the Red Sox. 5-1 in the first game. Trevor Story, he goes deep. 5-0 Braves in the second game. They have a guy named Austin Riley and a guy you might be familiar with. His name is Ronald Acuna Jr., already his 3rd homer of the season. Boy, it's good to see him play, but the Red Sox come back in the rubber match, and it's a 3-run bases-clearing double for Story. That's what you need. It's a 3-1 Red Sox victory as Boston takes 2 of 3 from Atlanta. Rockies and Mets. Francisco Lindor gets a 2-homer game in the opener. Starling Marte goes deep, as well as Sam Hillard for the Rockies. It's 4-2 Mets in that game. Tovar goes deep in Game 2, but it's 3 Mets in the names of Nimmo, Soto, and McNeil that go deep for the Mets. An 8-2 victory there. And then how about Orlando Arcia and Tyler Freeman, both getting their first home runs of the year. But it's the big Mets 3, Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, and Juan Soto, the best 3 players who all go deep. It's the Mets 5-3 the final as they sweep the Colorado Rockies. What else is new there? Giants and Marlins. Matt Chapman would go deep in the series. Luis Matos hit a 3-run home run in the last game. The Giants take 2 of 3 from the Marlins. They win the series 2-0, 1-0 Marlins in Game 2, and then 4-2 Giants. But San Francisco getting the extra game there. Brewers and Phillies. The Brewers have been hot right now. Castellanos went deep in the first game for the Phillies, but it's Yelich with a 2-homer game, leading the Brewers to a 6-2 victory. In the second game, it was all Milwaukee, an 8-run fourth, a 5-run inning, a 4-run inning. Hoskins had a 2-homer game. Jackson Chourio goes deep. It's 17-7, the final in that one. And then in the last game, the Brewers down by 2. They score 5 unanswered throughout the game to come back for the sweep. They win their 7th straight game 5-2, and they sweep a top team in the Phillies. Reds and Cubs now. It's Friedel, it's Stevenson, and it's Jake Fraley who all go deep for the Reds, leading to a 6-2 opener win. The Cubs come back in Game 2 late with 2 runs in the 8th, the only 2 runs in this game. It's a 2-0 Cubs victory to even up the series. And in the last game, Michael Busch put on a nice showing, had a couple of hits, including a home run. And how about Ellie De La Cruz, who had the unfortunate news of his sister passing away? He gets a home run for her, but the Cubs win it 7-3 and take 2 of 3 from the Reds. Pirates and Padres. Andrew McCutcheon hits 2 homers in this series. He's that good. Adam Frazier went deep for the Pirates as well. So it's the old veteran buccos doing the jobs there. But it's Manny Machado. He gets a homer in Game 3. Padres win the first game 3-2. Pirates come back 5-0. And then Padres score 4 in the 7th to come back in the last game. 6-4 your final there. The Padres taking 2 of 3 from the buccos. Nationals and D-backs, it's Wood, it's Bell. James Wood, Josh Bell, they both go deep. It's a 9-7 Nationals win. Then in Game 2, it got ugly. The Nationals scored 10 runs in the first inning, 9 of which before their first out of the game. Ugly stuff there. Diamondbacks did a good job trying to come back into this one, but it's too big of a hole. 11-7 the final there. They do get the comeback in the third game though. 3-1 the final there. Suarez goes deep as they avoid the sweep. The Nats take 2 of 3 from Arizona, who's been floundering as of late. And then the last one, the big one, Yankees and Dodgers, the World Series rematch. Judge, first inning, home run. Ohtani, first inning, leadoff, home run. Boy, was this series going to be a great one. Wells, Grisham, and Goldie all went deep for the Yankees, but it's Ohtani who homers late for the Dodgers. It's a 2-homer game for him, and the Dodgers score 6 unanswered to get the comeback win. 8-5 Dodgers in the opener. This was going to be a great series. And then Game 2 happened. Max Muncy, he gets a 2-homer game. Hai-Sung Kim, he gets a home run. How about Andy Pages? How about Dalton Rushing hitting his first career MLB home run? The Dodgers, plenty of bombs. But Judge saw Ohtani get a 2-homer game in the opener, so Judge gets a 2-homer game here in Game 2. It's 2 solo shots. The only 2 runs the Yankees scored as the Dodgers win it 18-2, an absolute bottom smacking there. And then in the third and final game, Tommy Edman, Andy Pages, and Max Muncy all going deep. But it's the Yankees that actually get some runs on the board this time. Ben Rice hits a home run. Those 3 Dodger solo shots will only put up 3 runs. 7-3 Yankees, the final, as they avoided the sweep to the Dodgers, who take 2 of 3 from New York. All right, now let's get to the game of the weekend here. Some great options. Honestly, I want to go and talk about this Toronto Game 4 here on Sunday against the A's, because the grit I'm seeing from the Blue Jays recently, the offense has been clicking and it's been fun to see. So let's get into it on Sunday. The Jays and the A's. Top first, Tyler Soderstrom, he would ground out. He had 2 homers in the series. That ground out, though, scores a 1. It's 1-0. Top 5, Luis Urias gets a 2-run double. The A's are up 3. Bottom 5th, though, the Jays get some offense of their own going in this game. George Springer, an RBI single, and then Alejandro Kirk, he would get a double that would score a run, but the A's would get out of the inning after a mistake from Springer on the base pads. Top 8, Jacob Wilson, sac fly, gets the A's a 2-run lead. They're feeling good, but enter the bottom of the 8th. They get the first 2 men on and upsets Addison Barger, who had himself just an outstanding series, homering on Friday, homering on Saturday, and then hitting the go-ahead 3-run homer on the Sunday. His 5th of the year gives Toronto a 1-run lead, but they were not done there. A couple batters later, Nathan Lucas gets an RBI single to add an extra run, and then Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a 2-run double. The Jays entered the inning down 2. They exited it up 4 after a 6-run 8th, and the Jays get their 4-game sweep over the A's. 8-4 the final for your game of the weekend. Alrighty, now let's get into the more baseball news here. Start talking about the important stuff here, and I want to start by talking about Cal effing Raleigh, man. This guy is potentially having the best catching season ever. If you look at his last couple of games, end of the month of May, he hit 12 homers in the month of May. He hit 3 straight days with a homer, homered 4 times in the series against Minnesota, homering once yesterday to start the June. He homered 1 on Saturday to end May and hit 2 homers on the Friday to open up that series. It's his 4th multi-homer game of the season. He has 4 of them already, and the homer he hit yesterday to start June, that was the league-leading 23rd homer. He entered the series against Minnesota with 19, and he exited it with 23. Just an absolutely astonishing month and just season that Cal Raleigh's had, really. He breaks the record for the most home runs by a catcher before the end of May with 21. Of course, he did get 22, and now it's at 23. That's just how quickly it's been happening. You go over just some offensive numbers between Cal Raleigh and other catchers across MLB history. The most homers ever by a catcher was Salvador Perez. He hit 48 homers in 2021. Of course, he had 33 of those as an actual catcher, was playing some DH. But of course, as a catcher, you're going to DH a little bit. But you go through it. Johnny Bench with 45. Mike Piazza had a couple of 40 home run seasons. What Cal's doing right now, he is on pace for 57, if not close to 60 home runs on the season, 54 as a catcher this year. You go through, just other stats, like every kind of measure. He's on pace right now for 9.8 WAR in 2025. 9.8 would tie him with Buster Posey, who had 9.8 in 2012. Of course, that was the year Buster Posey won an MVP with the Giants. He also was the World Series champion that year, the Giants were. But you go over it right now. There's only been 3 catchers who have ever been able to record 9+ WAR seasons. Mike Piazza with the Dodgers in 1997, who had a 9.1 WAR. Johnny Bench with the Reds in 1972, who had a 9.2. And then, as the previously mentioned, Buster Posey in 9.8. Cal Raleigh is on pace to become the 4th catcher ever with a 9+ WAR. And you just go through his numbers. I mean, right now he's having better seasons than kind of Mauer, Gibson, some of these guys who've done it for a long time. Like, we're not comparing Cal Raleigh to the great catchers recently. We're comparing him to some of the best catchers of all time. And remember, it's not just, he's just a powerful bat. He's the Platinum Glove winner last year. He was a Gold Glove winner. He has been a top catcher realistically for the last 2 or 3 seasons. And it's not just against one team. I mean, he has just done it against everyone. This guy has been amazing the last couple of years. Obviously the Mariners have Julio. They have some top pitchers there. I think Cal Raleigh is an underrated player in that roster. Like, he is a guy. And if I was a Mariners fan, I would be rocking a Raleigh jersey every damn day. He has currently 3.2 wins above replacement. That is the WAR, which only trails Aaron Judge, who is at an outstanding 4.7. But still, I mean, what Raleigh's done so far this season is nothing short of just absolute fantastic. Most home runs by a catcher by the end of May. He's been absolutely killing it recently. And we are only in June, so there is obviously plenty of time for him to slow this pace down. But, and this is a big but, because he, is the big dumper. He's got a big butt. If he can keep this pace up, we might be seeing the best catching season ever in MLB history from Cal Raleigh. So a part of me wants to see this guy absolutely demolish these baseballs and keep it up. But yeah, who knows what Cal Raleigh can continue to do here. And just wanted to give out some love for the Big Dumper, because he's been absolutely incredible. Moving on here, let's get into the White Sox bench clearing with the Oilers over the weekend here, because I thought it was kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Is pathetic the word? I think pathetic's the word here. On the part of Kobe Mayo. So if you missed the bench clearing, Mayo drove in his first career RBI. Of course, Kobe Mayo, one of the young O's kids they've got there. He drove in a run and then was trying to advance to second as, you know, the throw from the left fielder looked like it was going home. It gets cut off there, thrown to second, and then he gets caught in a rundown. And then after the first throw to first base, when he starts running back to second, he kind of runs out of his way and just kind of bumps into Sosa, Lenyon Sosa, the White Sox second baseman there, who was, you know, the one part of the rundown. And then kind of just falls to the ground and has his hands in the air. And obviously the White Sox take offense to that because, like, what are you doing? You know, he stands up, starts walking off, pushes somebody. You know, I think it was Josh Rojas who pushes back, and then that whole starts the bench clearing there. Kind of useless. I don't know what Mayo was thinking there, because the more I rewatch it, I mean, it's just like, what are you doing? You're going out of your way to just kind of push someone like away, like you just because you got out, because you got played, you know, like you thought he was going home and you started running to second, trying to steal an extra bag there, and then you get caught and you know, you throw a hissy fit. Obviously, you know, young kid. No one's gonna take that away from him, but I mean, there's a level of, hey, let's maybe not do that. Maybe you ever think about that? You know, he's 23 years old. You know, he's been in big league games before. You know, he had a little bit of a taste last year. But so far, since being called back up this year, he's only 2 for 19 with 1 run, 1 RBI, yet to get a big league homer. And his average right now is a 105 and a 255 on base OPS. So, you know, obviously struggling, but, you know, that doesn't mean you throw hissy fits, and it doesn't mean you start bench clearing brawls, because it was really a nothing sandwich. Just you get tagged out, you know, you could try to avoid it for a little bit, but eventually, you know, we're big leaguers. You get tagged out, you go with your bench, and you know, you're like, okay, well, at least I got my first Major League RBI. Instead, he kind of, not taints it, because it's still a good moment for him to pick up his first RBI, but it's just like, okay, why were you doing all that extra stuff? It was just kind of not really worth it, and that's my take on it. But, yeah, bench clearing brawl there between the White Sox and the Oilers, two teams who are, let's be honest, absolute dog shit. Anyways, let's get into another team that's absolutely dog shit, the Colorado Rockies. 2 weeks ago, on May the 19th, I talked about how the Rockies, who I believe were 8-38. I said, hey, you know what? The season is salvageable if you can get your 10th win before your 40th loss. You know, it's 2 games. If you can win 2 of your next 3, you know, you can salvage the series. Obviously, that's a tough task because they were going up against the Phillies for a 4-game set. So not only did they lose the next 4 games straight and get swept by the 4-game series against the Phillies, they haven't even gotten their 10th win yet. And it's not just, oh, you can salvage it if you win 2 of your next 3. You know, if you can get to 10 wins before 40 losses, they didn't get to 10 wins before 50 losses. That's absurd. They won their 9th game on the 23rd of May against the Yankees. They then lost the next 2 against the Yankees. They were swept by the Cubs, and now they were swept by the Mets. They're on an 8-game losing streak, and they're 9-50. Already their 50th loss on the season. They are 9 games worse than the White Sox, who are also a bad team. They haven't won their 20th game, but hey, at least they're at 18 wins. They have doubled the amount of wins the Rockies have. That's the difference between 29th and 30th. That's the difference of how bad the Rockies have been. Just to put more context into this, the A's have the second worst run differential, negative 110. The Rockies, negative 185. It's not like, oh, this is like bad. This is real bad. This is like the ugly, like that is like, I can't even fathom words right now. I can't even think of how I want to express like the pain that these Rockies fans must be going through, Because at the end of the day, when I look at the roster and I'm like looking at these names, I think there's some fun guys here. I like Ryan McMahon. I like Ezekiel Tovar. I like, Hunter Goodman. And Jordan Beck's been kind of popping off. You see Brenton Doyle every now and then, have his moments. Mickey Montig's had a little bit of a nice season. It's the pitching that I really get worried about, because when I look at the guys here, I recognize Kyle Freeland's name. I recognize Herman Marquez. Everyone else, like Antonio Sensatella has 10 losses on the year. He has more losses. The one pitcher alone has more losses than Rockies wins. It's just unacceptable at this point. And we're in May. We're already talking about, the Rockies have a chance to break the White Sox record. No, unless they win like 5 straight, 8 straight, kind of get back to pace here, they will break the White Sox record from last year. Like their winning percentage is 153. They're winning 15% of the time. Like they're not just bad, they're historically bad. Like this is really bad. Like I cannot say bad enough. They have a 3-game series against the Marlins, who are on paper not a great team. So this is a chance really where if you're Colorado, you can take 2 of 3 against the Marlins, just to shut some people up a little bit, just to get something going your way, So, feel bad if you know a Rockies fan. Give them a call, give them a hug, I guess, and yeah, ugly time to be a Rockies fan. But it is a great time to be a Royals fan, and I mean this wholeheartedly because they are calling up their number 1 prospect, a kid who I am just so excited to see. Jac Caglianone is making his major league debut. The Royals are calling up their number 1 prospect, the 10th prospect in MLB right now. The 6'5", 250-pound lefty is a beast. We have seen him hit some absolute nukes in the minors. He has done Double-A. He has gone through Triple-A this year between those 2 leagues and teams. He's played 50 games with 64 hits, 56 RBIs, 15 home runs. In total, his OPS 982. He's got a 322 batting average. He's been incredible in the minors this year. And listen, the Royals aren't bad by any means right now. They're 4th in the Central, which doesn't sound great, but they're 31-29. That's just 2 games above 500. They're a game back of Minnesota for 3rd, and they're a game back for the wild card spot, which is Minnesota, who's in the 6th seed right now. The Royals players have been good. Bobby Witt hasn't been the Bobby Witt kind of MVP numbers from last year. Some of their pitching hasn't been fantastic. When you think of last year, how amazing Seth Lugo was, how amazing Michael Wacha was, how amazing Cole Reagans were. And that's not to say that they haven't been amazing. Cole Reagans, not really the start we'd expect from him. He's got a 4.53 ERA. Wacha's been very solid at 2.88. Seth Lugo, a 3.25. This year, the guy has been Chris Bubich, who is 5-3, a 1.43 ERA with 12 games, and he's been absolutely fantastic for the Royals. Every time I see this guy come out, he's been an absolute stud in the rotation. But when you go through the actual Royals lineup, Michael Massey's had a couple of nice, moments, but he's been really struggling hard. You think Vinny Pasquantino, having him healthy, he's been a key contributor there. Miguel Garcia has been great. But when you look at the other guys here, the numbers just kind of drop and drop and drop. Outside of Garcia, Bobby Witt, and Pasquantino, no other Royal has an OPS above 700, except for Luke Maile, but he's only played in 3 games and had a home run, so his numbers are skewed and don't count. The next closest has been Drew Waters, who's been pretty decent so far in 44 games. He's got 41 hits, a home run, and a 698 OPS, so he's right there. Salvador Perez also, a 621 OPS. Kyle Isbell, a 698. So there's some guys who are close here. But it's definitely the Royals offense that seems to be lacking some of that production that we need to see them get. I think they're a pitcher from being right and some offense away from being a really strong team. If Reagans can get better, if Seth Lugo can kind of, get a little bit more consistent, if Michael Lorenzen can kind of figure things out a little bit, have one of those guys, one of your starters kind of lock in, and, you need some offense back. The Royals can go on a real stretch here. Jac Caglianone will be that real offense that we have seen. I have seen this guy hit absolute moonshots. There is just plenty of fun stuff about this kid. I'm extremely, extremely excited to see his MLB debut. I want to say it would be today even. I want to double check that the Royals are playing today. And they are not. So tomorrow, I'm going to be watching this game. They are playing against the Cardinals. Michael Lorenzen on the mound, 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. Definitely be checking it out. I'm assuming that Jack will be playing first base or DHing potentially. But yeah, very excited to see this kid. And I think the Royals are doing great stuff here. And I think, if you can't make a trade for offense, obviously it's still a little bit early. You go into your farm system, you get a big boy in Jack. So very excited to see him play. Moving on here, the last bit of news I want to go over is my guy, Josh Harrison, who is officially retiring from Major League Baseball. And for some of you, you're probably thinking Josh Harrison was playing Major League Baseball. Well, he was not. He did not play in 2025. He did not play in 2024. The last time we saw Josh Harrison on the field was when he was 35 back in 2023 with the Philadelphia Phillies. He played 40 games that year to a 554 OPS. Of course, Harrison... he's bounced around from team to team, a couple years in Washington, a year with the White Sox, a year in Oakland, a year with the Phillies, a year with Detroit. But of course, his main team was the Pittsburgh Pirates. He spent 8 years with the organization, a 14-point war, 14.1 war during that time. Had 52 homers with the Pirates, a 725 OPS. He's a two-time All-Star, and back in 2014, when he was 26, he finished top 10 in MVP voting. He finished 9th that year. Kind of crazy to think about Josh Harrison being a top 10 player in the NL there. That was definitely his best season, was 2014, a 5.6 WAR. He had 13 home runs, 52 RBIs, an 837 OPS, a career high there for him. And so in total, when he debuted in 2011 all the way to 2023, it's a 13-year career for him, 16.4 WAR. He had over 1,000 hits, 1,080 hits. He had 388 RBIs, 73 home runs, 91 stolen bases, and a 712 OPS. Of course, Harrison, if you remember him, you probably remember him just being able to get out of the craziest pickles. He was always so amazing at diving back and just doing those rundowns. I think the best base runner I'd ever seen, in the early 2000s there, in the 2010s, when you go back to like 2013 to like 2017, 18, that 5-year span, I think he was one of, if not the best base runner. Still one of the best I've probably seen in my life, just being able to do all that stuff. I think he's just an iconic face, one of those guys that, never had eye-popping numbers, obviously besides 2014. But he's a guy that you'll remember. He's a guy that I certainly will remember. So congratulations, Josh Harrison, for your incredible career. Enjoy your actual retirement now. Again, hasn't played in a while, but, he's been doing it still. So Josh Harrison retiring from baseball. So let's get into the rest of the episode here. Get going with our hot and colds from the week. As mentioned, there is no one hotter right now than Cal Raleigh. 8 for 23, 6 home runs, 10 RBIs, 6 runs, 3 walks, a 1.574 OPS, an absolute god right now. Junior Caminero had a fantastic series against the Astros to get him into this list. 11 for 19, 4 doubles, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs, 11 of which were just in 2 games. 8 runs and a 1.331 OPS. He was incredible. Max Muncy had a big series against the Yankees this past weekend. 7 for 19 overall, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, 6 runs, 1.409 OPS for the new glasses-wearing power bat there. We mentioned Addison Barger in today's episode. I'll mention him again. I love talking Barger right now. 9 for 24, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 6 RBI, 6 runs, 3 walks, a 1.227 OPS with the Jays there. And how about Christian Yelich? 10 for 20, a double, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 5 runs, and a 1.545 OPS. The way he plays is why the Brewers are on their 7-game winning streak. He's been fantastic. On the cold side of things, Isaac Paredes from the Astros, 1 for 22 with 6 strikeouts. Kyle Stowers from the Marlins, 1 for 21 with 9 strikeouts. Mike Yastrzemski, I hate to see him here, but he's 2 for 24 with 6 Ks. Ryan Jeffers, 2 for 22 with 7 Ks. And then Jordan Beck, 2 for 22 with 8 strikeouts. That is your hot and colds from the weekend here, for the week in general. Moving on here, let's get to the injury updates. And this is unfortunate because it's a massive list of guys here, I think. Dalton Varsho on the 10-day IL with a strained hamstring. Ryan Mountcastle on the 10-day IL, same thing for him, a strained hamstring. AJ Smith-Shawver, we mentioned he was on the IL last week. It is a torn elbow ligament, and he is out for the rest of 2025. Liam Hendricks on the 15-day IL with the Red Sox, hip inflammation for him. Jordan Walker, 10-day IL, wrist inflammation. Jackson Jobe, 15-day IL, strained elbow flexor. Cedric Mullins, 10-day IL, strained hamstring. Nathan Eovaldi, 15-day IL, triceps inflammation. Anthony Santander, 10-day IL with shoulder inflammation. Chas McCormick on the 10-day IL with a strained oblique. And then Evan Phillips announced that he will need Tommy John surgery, and he is done for the rest of 2025. So a massive, I feel like, list of notable injuries here. Hopefully some of those inflammations and hamstrings and all that aren't as bad, and hopefully we can get these guys healthy within the week and a half that they get on the IL, or the 2 weeks if you are a pitcher. Moving on here, let's go over our outstanding performances. Jose Barrios starts us off, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 9 Ks. Andrew Abbott, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, a walk, and 8 Ks. Zach Eflin, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 6 Ks. Baltimore could use more of that from the rest of their guys. Ryan Pepio, 6 2/3, 2 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 4 Ks. Framber Valdez, thanks to Yanyer Diaz, 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 9 Ks for the complete game. Michael Wacha, 7 innings pitched, a hit, no earned runs, a walk, and 6 Ks. Tarek Skubal doing Skubal things, 7 innings of work, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 7 Ks. Sonny Gray, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, a walk, and 10 strikeouts. Spencer Schwellenbach, 6 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 11 strikeouts. How about that? Garrett Crochet, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 12 Ks. Chris Bubich, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 9 Ks. Chris Paddock, 8 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 10 strikeouts. The new sheriff's in town. Hunter Brown, 6 innings pitched, a hit, no earned runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. Taj Bradley, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 10 Ks. And lastly, Ryan Yarbrough, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 5 Ks. And with that, that brings us to our standings check. If we take a look in the AL East, the Yankees 36-22. They're 5.5 up on the Blue Jays, who are on a 5-game winning streak. They have looked good. They're 31-28, a game up on the Rays at 30-29, who are 2 games up on the Red Sox at 29-32. And Baltimore down there at 22-36, still have a long ways to go. In the Central, it's the Tigers who stay in control. They're 39-21, 1 win away from becoming the first team to 40 wins on the year. They're 6 games up on the Guardians, 7 games up on the Twins, and 8 games up on the Royals. The Guardians, Twins, and Royals are separated by 2 games. Guardians at 32-26, Twins at 31-27, and the Royals at 31-29, all 3 above 500. The White Sox in last 18-41. In the West, the Mariners 32-26. They're first. They've got Big Dumper, who's hot. Julio, Randy, the team has been clicking. The Astros, though, half a game out, 32-27. They've played 1 game and they've lost that extra game. So Seattle and Houston dogfighting for first. Texas trying to join in the mix. They're 4 games back, 29-31, just 2 games under 500. Angels 26-32, and then the A's, who at once was a promising team. I think they were 21-19 or something like that. It's 23-37. They had that 11-game losing streak and are currently on a 6-game losing streak. They're 1-9 in their last 10, and their season just continues to unravel. One of probably the worst May I've seen in a long time from a team. In the NL East, the Mets, thanks to the Brewers, have taken back first place. They swept the Rockies. They're on a 3-game winning streak. And the Phillies, who got swept by the Brewers and have lost 4 straight, the Mets 37-22, the Phillies 36-23. The Mets will play the Dodgers, the Phillies will play the Blue Jays. So interesting stuff there. Nationals are back ahead of the Braves for third. They're 28-31. Just a half a game though. The Braves 27-31. Nats played an extra game and have won that game, while Miami still hangs out in last at 23-34. The NL Central still has the Cubs in control, 8-2 in their last 10. They're 37-22 on the season. They're 4 games up on the Cardinals, who are at 33-26. The Brewers, who are on the best streak in the league right now, a 7-game winning streak, 8-2 in their last 10. They're 32-28 and have jumped the Reds for third in the division there. The Reds, who are 29-31, kind of just middling at 500, need to find a hot streak. And the Pirates, 22-38. Not good. In the West, it's the Dodgers who have started to pull away a little bit. They're 2 games up on the Padres. They're 36-23 to the Padres 33-24. Padres just half a game out, a full game on the Giants. The Giants have played 2 extra games and have lost those 2. So the Padres are 33-24. Giants are 33-26. So the same amount of wins, just 2 extra losses there. As I mentioned, Arizona floundering as of late, 2-8 in their last 10. They're 28-31, below 500, 3 games below 500. They have a series against Atlanta coming up. Could really use a sweep here to get things rocking and rolling. And no rocking and no rolling for the Rockies, 9-50. I mean, surely they'll win their 10th game before their 60th loss, right? I mean, that would be, I don't know what that would be. That would be disappointing. The upcoming series from the week. Maybe you're checking out some of these series here. As mentioned, the Phillies in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays, coming off of a 4-game sweep, 5-game winning streak. Watch out for Barger. Angels in Boston taking on the Red Sox. Rangers at Rays. Guardians at Yankees. A little ALCS rematch from last year. Tigers at White Sox, Twins at A's, Oilers at Mariners, D-backs at Braves, Rockies at Marlins, Cubs at Nationals, Brewers will look to continue their win streak against the Reds, Royals at Cardinals, watch out for that Jac Caglianone debut, Astros at Pirates, Padres at Giants, a battle for second place. That is the series to watch. And of course, the Mets and Dodgers. It's an NLCS rematch. So an ALCS and LCS rematch this week. Padres and Giants battling for second in the West. You've got Jac Caglianone debut. There's a lot of great things going on this week. So yeah, a lot of great series, a lot of great baseball to be had. And of course, yeah, that's where we're ending today's episode, I guess. I got nothing else left for you guys. I appreciate you all for tuning on in. It's already sounding like the June is going to be a great month. You know, we're off to a great start here with the series that we've got for the first, official series of June here. And we have our Players of the Month on Friday. So a big episode coming up there. And a lot of fun stuff going forward, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you all. Thank you, everybody, so much. And I will see you on Friday.